Rain hammered against the window pane, creating a soothing rhythm that filled the cozy cottage. Lucy curled up on the window seat, staring out at the stormy night with a heavy heart. Memories of her past haunted her, the pain and regret fresh as if it had just happened yesterday. She longed for a chance to change the course of her life, to make things right. But deep down, she knew some mistakes were irreversible. A sudden knock on the door startled her, and she slowly made her way to answer it. Standing on the doorstep, drenched from head to toe, was a stranger. His piercing blue eyes held a mixture of determination and vulnerability that drew her in. She hesitated, unsure of whether she should let him in or send him away into the storm. But something in his demeanor tugged at her heartstrings, urging her to offer him shelter for the night. As the stranger stepped inside, a sense of déjà vu washed over Lucy. There was something familiar about him, something that stirred long-buried memories. She brushed it off as mere coincidence and led him to the fireplace to warm up. The crackling flames cast a warm glow over the room, illuminating the stranger's features. He introduced himself as Marcus and explained that he had been traveling for weeks, searching for something he had lost. His words resonated with Lucy, echoing her own inner turmoil. She felt a connection forming between them, a bond that transcended mere chance. As the storm raged on outside, Lucy and Marcus shared their stories under the flickering light of the fire. They spoke of their hopes and dreams, their fears and regrets. It was as if they had known each other for years, their souls bared open to one another without hesitation. And as the night wore on, a sense of peace settled over Lucy. For the first time in a long while, she felt a glimmer of hope blooming in her heart. Maybe, just maybe, Marcus was the key to unlocking the door to her past and forging a new future filled with redemption and love. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the sprawling city below, Mia stood at the edge of the rooftop, her heart pounding in her chest. She had come too far to turn back now. The weight of her decisions, the fear of the unknown, all threatened to consume her. But she knew she had to be strong. Taking a deep breath, she closed her eyes and let the memories flood her mind. The day her world shattered, the moment she made the life-altering choice that led her to this very rooftop. The pain of loss still lingered, a constant ache in her soul that fueled her determination to seek justice. The sound of footsteps behind her snapped her back to reality, and she turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows. It was Liam, her loyal friend and confidant, who had stood by her side through every trial and tribulation. His eyes held a mix of concern and urgency as he approached her, his voice laced with a sense of urgency. "Mia, we need to move quickly," Liam said, his words cutting through the stillness of the evening air. "They're on to us, and time is running out." Mia nodded, her jaw set in determination as she prepared herself for the task ahead. She had spent months planning, gathering evidence, and uncovering the truth that had been hidden from the world. And now, it was finally time to bring it all to light. With a silent nod to Liam, the two of them made their way down from the rooftop, slipping into the shadows of the city below. Each step brought Mia closer to the confrontation she had been preparing for, the moment when she would finally confront the ones responsible for the pain and suffering that had consumed her life. As they reached the outskirts of the city, Mia felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through her veins. The final showdown was about to begin, and she was ready to face it head-on. With Liam by her side and the truth on her side, she knew that nothing could stand in her way. The time for justice had come, and Mia was more determined than ever to see it through to the end. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the small town, Emma made her way to the old oak tree by the river. It was her special place, her sanctuary where she could escape from the chaos of the world and just be. She settled herself on the grass under the tree, the gentle rustle of the leaves above calming her racing thoughts. But tonight, the peace she sought eluded her. The weight of her secret was becoming unbearable, a heavy burden she carried alone. She closed her eyes, trying to shut out the guilt that gnawed at her insides. The memory of that fateful night haunted her, the sound of screeching tires and shattering glass echoing in her ears. She could still feel the rush of adrenaline, the fear that gripped her heart as she fled from the scene. But it wasn't just the accident, that tormented her. It was the knowledge that she was responsible for it, that her reckless actions had changed lives forever. Tears welled up in her eyes as she thought of the family she had shattered, the pain she had caused. A soft rustle in the bushes nearby made her snap her eyes open, her heart pounding in her chest. She peered into the darkness, fear gripping her. But instead of danger, she saw a figure stepping out into the moonlight. It was Lucas, the boy from her English class, his eyes filled with concern. "Emma, are you okay?" he asked, his voice gentle and comforting. She tried to speak, to form the words to tell him everything, but the lump in her throat stopped her. Lucas came and sat beside her, wrapping an arm around her shoulders in a silent gesture of support. "You don't have to carry this alone," he said softly, his words like a balm to her wounded soul. And in that moment, a flicker of hope ignited within her, a glimmer of light in the darkness that surrounded her. Maybe, just maybe, she didn't have to face this nightmare by herself. As they sat under the old oak tree, the weight on Emma's shoulders began to lift, the pain in her heart easing bit by bit. With Lucas by her side, she felt that maybe, just maybe, she could find the strength to face the truth and make amends for the mistakes she had made. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the lake, Sarah found herself standing at the edge of the dock, her heart pounding in her chest. The letter in her hand felt heavy, the weight of its words threatening to crush her spirit. She had come to this serene spot to find solace, to sort through the tumult of emotions swirling inside her. But now, faced with the reality of what the letter revealed, Sarah felt like she was drowning in a sea of despair. Tears stung her eyes as memories flooded her mind. Long conversations by the fireplace, stolen kisses in the rain, whispered promises under the stars. How could it all have been a lie? How could he have hidden such a devastating secret from her? With a trembling hand, Sarah unfolded the letter once more, reading the words that had shattered her world. The truth was harsh and cruel, a betrayal that cut deep into her soul. As she crumpled the paper in her fist, a fierce determination bubbled up inside her. She would not let this heartbreak define her. She would rise above it, stronger and wiser than before. With a deep breath, Sarah let go of the past and faced the uncertain future with renewed resolve. The sun had set, but she knew that a new dawn awaited her. And as she walked away from the lake, the echoes of her footsteps mingled with the gentle lapping of the waves, a testament to the strength that lay within her. As Jane entered the dark and musty room, her heart pounded with fear and unease. The only source of light was a single flickering candle on the dusty wooden table in the center of the room. Shadows danced on the walls, creating eerie shapes that seemed to come alive in the dim light. She took a deep breath and forced herself to stay calm. This was it. This was where she would find the answers she had been searching for all these years. She approached the table slowly, her eyes scanning the room for any sign of danger. On the table, she found an old leather-bound journal, its pages yellowed with age. As she opened it, a voice echoed in the room, chilling her to the bone. "Welcome, Jane," the voice whispered, sending shivers down her spine. "I have been expecting you." Jane froze, her heart racing as she tried to locate the source of the voice, but there was nobody else in the room with her. She turned back to the journal, her hands trembling as she began to read the words written on its pages. The journal belonged to her grandfather, a man she had never known. As she delved deeper into its pages, she discovered a dark family secret that had been hidden for generations. Tears welled up in her eyes as she realized the truth behind her mysterious past. Suddenly, the candle sputtered and died, plunging the room into darkness. Jane's heart hammered in her chest as she felt a presence in the room with her, a cold breath on the back of her neck. "I am here to finish what your grandfather started," the voice whispered, sending a chill down her spine. Jane knew she had to act fast if she wanted to uncover the truth and escape from the shadows that threatened to consume her. With a newfound resolve, she closed her eyes and focused all her energy on the journal, determined to unravel the secrets that had haunted her family for so long. The room began to shake, the walls groaning as if under a great weight, and then, in a blinding flash of light, the room filled with a deafening roar. When Jane opened her eyes, she found herself in a different place altogether, facing a figure cloaked in darkness. Welcome to the past, Jane, the figure whispered, its voice sending a chill down her spine. Prepare yourself for the truth. As the storm raged outside, Mia clutched the letter in her hands, her heart pounding in her chest. The words on the paper swirled around her mind, sending her emotions into a tailspin. How could this be true? How could everything she believed in be shattered in an instant? Tears welled up in her eyes as she tried to make sense of it all. Her phone rang, piercing the silence of the room. With trembling hands, she picked it up, her voice barely a whisper as she answered. It was James, her best friend, the one person who had always been there for her through thick and thin. His words were a lifeline in the chaos of her thoughts, anchoring her to reality. "You need to come over, Mia. We need to talk," James said urgently. Mia nodded, knowing that she couldn't face this alone. She needed James by her side, his unwavering support giving her the strength to confront the truth that lay before her. As she hurriedly got dressed and made her way to his apartment, the storm outside seemed to mirror the turmoil within her. When she arrived, James enveloped her in a tight embrace, his presence a comforting balm to her shattered spirit. They sat down on the couch, the weight of the letter heavy between them. Mia took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "James, I don't know how to deal with this. It's like everything I believed in was a lie," Mia said, her voice trembling with emotion. James looked at her earnestly, his eyes reflecting her pain. "We'll get through this together, Mia. Whatever it is, we'll face it head on. I believe in you, and I'll always be here for you." Mia nodded, a flicker of determination igniting within her. She wouldn't let this revelation break her. With James by her side, she knew she could weather any storm. Together, they would uncover the truth and emerge stronger on the other side. As she stood at the edge of the cliff, the wind whipping through her hair, Sarah felt a torrent of emotions surging within her. The letter in her hand trembled as tears blurred her vision. It was from her long-lost sister, Emma, revealing the truth behind their separation. Emma's words echoed in Sarah's mind, recounting the fateful night when their parents perished in a tragic accident. The burden of guilt weighed heavily on Emma's shoulders as she confessed to being the one behind the wheel that dreadful night. Sarah's heart ached at the pain her sister had endured all these years in silence. Lost in her thoughts, Sarah did not see him approaching until he stood beside her, his presence a comforting anchor in the storm raging within her. Jake, with his unwavering support and understanding, had been her rock through every twist and turn of this tumultuous journey. "Sarah, whatever you decide to do, know that I am here for you." Jake's voice was steady, his eyes filled with love and concern. Sarah looked into his eyes, so full of warmth and reassurance, and found the strength she needed to face the truth and embrace her sister once more. With a deep breath, she made her decision. "I need to find her, Jake. I need to face the past and rebuild the bond we once shared." Sarah's voice quivered, but her resolve was unwavering. Together, Sarah and Jake embarked on a journey to unravel the tangled threads of their shared history, each step bringing them closer to the elusive peace they both sought. As they delved deeper into the secrets long buried, they discovered the power of forgiveness and the healing balm of love. Through the tears and the laughter, the heartaches and the triumphs, Sarah and Emma found their way back to each other, forging a bond stronger than ever before. And as the sun set on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the world below, Sarah knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she would not face them alone. As the clock struck midnight, Sarah found herself standing at the edge of a cliff overlooking the turbulent sea below. The wind whipped through her hair as she clenched the letter in her hands, the words etched into her heart like a dagger. Everything seemed to blur around her, the sounds of crashing waves fading into the background as her own thoughts consumed her. She had come to this place seeking clarity, seeking answers to the questions that had haunted her for so long. The weight of the truth was heavy on her shoulders, threatening to drag her down into the darkness that loomed ahead. Tears streamed down her face as memories flooded her mind, memories of a love lost, a betrayal uncovered, and a journey filled with twists and turns that she never could have anticipated. She struggled to make sense of it all, to understand how she had arrived at this moment of reckoning. With a shaking hand, She unfolded the letter and read the words once more, each syllable piercing her soul like a knife. The truth it held was undeniable, a revelation that shattered the illusions she had clung to for so long. Anger flared within her, hot and fierce, as she realized the depth of deception that had been woven around her. But beneath the anger, a profound sadness lingered, a sadness for what could have been, for the dreams that now lay shattered at her feet. She thought of the times they had shared, the laughter and the tears, the promises whispered in the dark, and she wondered how it could all have been a lie. As the first light of dawn began to break over the horizon, Sarah made a decision. With a steely resolve in her eyes, she crumpled the letter in her hand and let it drop to the ground below. She took a step back from the edge of the cliff, feeling a newfound strength rising within her. The path ahead was uncertain, the road long and winding. But as the sun rose in the sky, casting its golden light upon the world, Sarah knew that she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. With a final glance back at the sea below, she turned away from the edge and began to walk. And with each step she felt the weight of the past slowly lifting from her shoulders, leaving her free to embrace the future that awaited. The storm raged on outside as Emma sat by the window, looking out at the dark sky and pelting rain. The room felt empty without him, Marcus, the love of her life, who had left without a word 3 days ago. As she traced the raindrops with her finger on the glass, memories flooded back, the laughter, the late-night talks, the stolen kisses. She couldn't understand why he had walked away, why he had decided to break her heart and leave her shattered. But then, a sudden knock on the door startled her. She hesitantly got up and opened it, only to find Marcus standing there, drenched from the rain, his eyes filled with regret and longing. "I'm sorry, Emma," he whispered, reaching out for her. "I was a fool to leave you. Can you ever forgive me?" Tears welled up in her eyes as she took his hand, feeling a mix of emotions, relief, anger, love. She wanted to push him away, to scream at him for causing her so much pain. But looking into his eyes, she saw the sincerity, the love that still lingered between them. Without a word, she pulled him into a tight embrace, feeling his warmth and his heartbeat against hers. In that moment, she knew that she still loved him despite everything. And maybe, just maybe, they could find a way to mend what was broken and start anew. The storm outside began to subside, the rain softening into a gentle drizzle. Emma held on to Marcus, knowing that their love was like the storm, fierce and wild, but also powerful and unbreakable. As they stood there, lost in each other's arms, a rainbow appeared in the sky, its colors vivid against the fading clouds. And in that moment, Emma believed that maybe, just maybe, there was hope for them after all. Tears streamed down her face as she stood in front of the wreckage of what used to be her home. The fire had taken everything from her, her possessions, her memories, her sense of security. But amidst the ashes and rubble, she saw a glimmer of hope. Her neighbors had gathered around her, offering their support and condolences. They handed her a box salvaged from the ruins, inside of which was a collection of old photographs. As she flipped through the images, memories flooded back to her. Birthday parties, family vacations, laughter, and love captured in each snapshot. It was then that she realized that while her material belongings were gone, the most important things in life could never be destroyed. Her strength and resilience grew with each passing moment, fueled by the love and support of those around her. She knew that she would rebuild, not just her home, but her life as well. And as the sun set on the horizon, casting a golden glow over the charred remains of her house, she made a promise to herself. She would rise from the ashes, stronger and more determined than ever before. The fire may have taken everything from her, but it could never take away her spirit or her will to overcome. With renewed determination, she took her first steps towards a new beginning, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and grace.